Hey guys, what's up? This is David from ConMenRDW here, and welcome to a new show starting up on the RDW network. Hashtag Team RDW. Welcome to the show. You're listening to Binge Blast, a show where we're basically talking about the stuff that we've been playing slash watching for the longest time, for the last couple, at least 2 weeks. We're
For
gonna
the
do like
longest time.
for the
Yeah,
longest
let me
time.
start talking about Sailor Moon, okay?
All right, no, if we're going back in time, I'm gonna inch you motherfuckers to the One Piece lore.
Oh God,
What we're
I
gonna
got
be hearing about.
900 chapters to
I'm
throw
gonna-
at you.
I made it to chapter like 350. I'm like, I can't do it anymore.
I think I should
Coward!
actually introduce our panel real
Dude, you were
quick.
already so deep.
We should actually introduce our panel real quick. I got Jerome, his loud ass.
Huh?
You got Connor.
Yo,
Got Zany. And then we have Jamir.
What's up?
Yo. So this is our panel for this week. It'll probably shuffle next week. But yeah, we're here to just tell you guys about what we've been playing, slash watching, slash reading, slash whatever the type of media we've been intaking into our veins for the past couple days. Pretty heavily. So hopefully if you hear anything or see anything on this show that you'd like to start looking into, for sure do that. Hit us up on our social media platforms. Comment down below if you like any of the things we're talking about. And yeah, let's get into it. Let's get into it. How about that? All right.
Let's go.
So I'm gonna start us off with what I've been playing recently. I'm gonna start off with Moonlighter, which is a game I've been playing on my Switch for the past probably like a week and some change. I don't know how many hours I am in the game right now, but I'm pretty far in. This game is amazing. It's like a dungeon crawler. What is it? Dungeon crawler? What's that damn word? Like the word's escaping me. Oh, roguelike. That has probably the best money management economy, give and take I've ever seen in a video game in a long time. Like no cap. I'm so serious. So the whole premise of the game is there's this mysterious dungeon with like 4 separate main doors and only and like one of the 5th door is locked because no one's ever lived to get far deep enough into the 4th dungeon to survive to get the key to unlock the 5th door. And because of that, a whole bunch of adventurers just come from far and wide to come to this town. And then you're playing as this guy who is a merchant that inherited this store called the Moonlighter from his grandfather, who was like the best merchant in that town. But over time, since people just kept dying in the dungeon, people stopped coming through as often. So now that that merchant is trying to actually get to the 5th door himself, but also run a business at the same time, which will help the town grow like economically and stuff like that. So the main gameplay loop is you can go into this dungeon and literally every single drop that you get from enemies or things that you get in chests, all of that you can literally sell in your store when you leave the dungeon. And also there's like a whole bunch of different enemies. Some drop rarer stuff than others. There's also like an inventory management system when you're in the dungeons. So you can have like things that only can go into like a row or a column of your inventory, or there's like some things that have certain attributes like you can't see what this thing is until after you leave the dungeon, and it's really interesting. But the whole store-based system is, like I said, you can sell anything that you find, and the way that you figure out how to price things, because you can price things however you want to, but it's based on how popular of an item it is and also how rare it is. So like the only thing you see in your notebook that you have in your store is like the tiers of price. So like for instance, I would pick up something and it'll be like, okay, it will probably be around like 2,500 gold, but it doesn't tell me how much I should sell it for. So I have to like just put it on the shelf for maybe like, if it's like it's close to the 2,500 gold tab, I probably sell it for like 1,700. And then if someone thinks that's too expensive, I just lower the price until I find the sweet spot, and then I can just sell it for that much. And then there's also like shops that you can get into your town that can level up the gear that you get. There's like a potion person that you get early on that can make like medicine and stuff for you when you're in the dungeon. It's really interesting. It's a really good game. I'd highly recommend it. I'm loving it so far. I didn't think I would be this engrossed in it, and yeah. I'm really liking this game.
You have sold me on this game
I-
without.
I-
I haven't even looked at it.
Yeah,
I
and it also
tried-
got like free DLC since it launched too. But it's like I'm still so far from even being halfway done with this game so far. It's really good.
Mhm.
I tried it for a little bit at David's, and I really enjoyed it. I just haven't picked it up yet.
Yeah, it was free
Mhm.
on the Epic Games Store, like during the holidays, and yeah,
Ah.
yeah, I have it on my PC too, but I'm mainly playing it on my Switch, so I can have that flexibility of playing it in the house or outside of the house. So, yeah, really good game. Check it out. I think it maybe goes for like 25, maybe.
It's 19.99 right now
Oh,
on
okay,
Steam.
cool.
At least. Yeah,
Okay,
so
so
it's
then I
it's
mean on Switch it's
even
probably
20.
25 maybe, or maybe
Yeah.
also 20. But
Yeah, that's Steam tax, you know.
yeah, for sure. Check that game out, guys, if you like roguelikes and games where you're managing economy and stuff like that. So that's one of the main games I've been playing recently. Other than that, I've also been playing Legends of Runeterra. That is on PC at the moment. Me, Zany, and Jerome did a very at-length discussion about this game in a separate video, which you can check out by clicking that Yeah Young link in the description or in this card that I'm going to put in post.
Still sad.
But also, Connor's been playing it as well. And,
Oh my God,
we're
I've
going to
been
talk
playing
about
it so
this. We're all just going to jump in on this because we've all been playing this. We all got the bug.
Okay, number one, I want to start with a fuck you, David.
Damn.
He's
Got
just,
him.
he's just mad because
We-
he lost.
we all
30
know.
before the game.
Got
before
it.
this recording.
Got his ass whooped.
That was the cheesiest win I have ever seen.
Yeah, that's card game, all right.
They'd be like that, yeah, it'd be
Yeah.
like that.
But yeah. So Connor, I haven't really heard like your in-depth thoughts on Legends of Runeterra yet. So like, tell me what you think about it, because you're pretty much like the card game guy of Team RDW.
Well,
I'd say.
I am absolutely in love with the game. So number one, I always think it's kind of hard for companies to make online trading card games because there has to be a big appeal to it not just being a card game but a video game as well. That's why Magic the Gathering did like I want to say 8 different versions till they finally landed on Magic the Gathering Arena, which is actually a good online card game. But this one knocked it out of the park. Great music, great style, great lore, and
Papa John's.
fantastic
Brilliant.
mechanics and gameplay. I think my only downside to this game so far is that it feels limited in how much it makes you want to play a day. Because at a certain point, you maximum the amount of XP that you can gain to go toward all your rewards and stuff, which I get, they don't want people farming everything right from the get-go and then have nothing left to play. They want them coming back every day. But it kind of keeps you from playing it too much in one day when you're like, okay, I got my dailies, I'm out of here, maybe I'll play with some friends later. So maybe they need to do some rebalancing with that. Maybe make the cap be like 25 XP a win instead of just 0 at some point.
Mhm.
But it just makes farming, which I like in a card game, much less appealing. You play it for a little bit during the day and then you're done. Because ranked, I don't know what the ranked like
System is
Is
like.
ranked even like a thing that you can do right now, or?
yeah,
Yeah,
you can
it
play
is, yeah,
ranked.
it is.
Oh wait, no,
But I
yeah, I
don't know
saw
what the
someone
rewards
got like
are.
the highest rank you can be, like maybe last week, I think.
Yeah, and I don't know what the rewards are for that yet. Like, why go play ranked? What's the point at this point?
Yeah,
other
I
than-
Well-
think at this point it's
Mm.
just probably bragging rights or getting more cards and stuff. Probably.
Well, it's so the way I see the economy, this is just my assumption, of course, but the way I see the economy at this point is that if we're going to be playing ranked, you're probably playing ranked like you would for in League of Legends, where there's like an end of season reward type deal. And because we're in beta and this is the beta season, I'm assuming they're probably just going to give you currency toward more cards, right?
Probably.
Okay.
So this is an open beta, so anybody has access to it. So there's no real advantage to there's no real harsh advantage to giving people who decided to play ranked more stuff to play with, right? Like they got a reward
Yeah.
for playing ranked somehow. So like I can more like green currency or wild cards. That's like my assumption. All right.
Which I'm okay with that. If that's what they're gonna give us at the end of the season, and if the season's 1 month long, like every other card game out there, I'm totally fine with. That's great. That gives us an incentive. But I think the economy is the one thing that is holding the game back right now. But that's because I played Hearthstone forever, and I feel like Hearthstone, even though you get less legendaries in Hearthstone than you do, because someone was talking to me the other day, and the kind of math is it's about $26 a legendary roughly in Hearthstone, where it's about $3 a legendary in Legendary Terra.
It's
the
because
issue
you
is
can
it's-
just directly get that card if you want it, right?
well, Yes, but it's just how much they give you champions in here because of the capsules and everything.
No, right.
Well,
Yeah.
the one way of actually assuring that you get a champion that you necessarily want is buying coins and only buying
Yeah.
like a certain amount of the orange wild cards that they give you, because there's a certain amount of stocks that you can get from the shop.
Yeah.
And as soon as you buy all of those, it's like you can't get any more up until maybe the next day or something.
Which
So
is understandable. They don't want. I think the idea behind this is not just building the best deck and then maxing it all out, but it's also playing with it and getting cards as you play. I still wish, and this is just me being spoiled again. I still wish they had what I would call a dusting system, where you could take a card and disenchant it for maybe a wild card of a lesser value
You
or a
can break
couple
down
wild
cards
cards.
that you have and then use those to
Yeah,
get other
like because
cards.
in Hearthstone, that's what you have. You can break down a card for 1/4 of what its original price is, which isn't a lot, but it goes to help to really when you're wanting to play around with different
I could have
decks.
swore they said they were gonna do something like that down the line for Runeterra or something.
If they
yeah,
do,
at
great.
the only point right now, the only time that happens is when you actually do get rewards on the different factions that you're in. If you do get an extra
Yeah,
copy of the card, like it changes into like the green shards that you do get, but
Yeah.
like that feels so bad to get. It's just like,
yeah.
oh yeah, here's my extra copy. Let me get like 75 shards for it, and I
But also
can't use
75.
those 75 shards to get anything that I necessarily want.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah,
I do. So on one hand, they have to incentivize people to buy into the game somehow.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So while they can't do it the way League does it, which is just purely cosmetic, which makes sense to me at least. Because if they did it like League, the best they could do is like give us like card skins and stuff like that, and like we already got the arena skins and the little pets. So they're experimenting with it, but this is the beta time. So I'm gonna
yeah.
give them like 1 or 2 seasons to see where they go from there. I don't really expect much at this point because I actually want them to focus on the mechanics and the stability of the game, because if they go too hard on the rest of the game, like how much currency they just give away, it could actually ruin the economy. And
Oh,
the
I
economy
totally
of a
agree.
card game is way too important. And
Yeah.
them being stingy with it right now is preferable,
Yeah.
right? Because there's a max cap on how much you can spend per month. Per week. Like you can
Even
literally.
the max expeditions you can do, which is crazy to me because it's like, okay, well, they let you play it, but it's they let you do what 3 a week, and then they're like, okay, you can play it, but it's free now, and you're really not going to get any from it.
Tell me about
Yeah,
the
and
expeditions real quick, because I haven't tried those yet.
Ooh,
okay,
okay.
so Expeditions Draft.
Oh, I love
Okay.
it.
Yeah, it's basically draft. Essentially, it's like think about like dodgeball, where you're like picking between a bunch of people one at a time, right? Except you're doing it on your
You're
own.
building your deck
and
as you go.
yeah, it's RNG, all of it. It starts off by giving you like 3 choices of like champions and like their regions, right?
Mhm.
So you can get like a Teemo and some Zon stats, Piltover stuff, or maybe a Zed with elusives and stuff like that. And basically, you have to determine the value of like the 3 cards in a row that they give you the options for, and build a deck out of that. It's not always like super random. I think the game tries to give you some synergy, but
And
it's like
I
it's
feel
still
like it
RNG.
does. I mean, it's RNG, but I feel like it does get the synergy because I've noticed I've done 4 of them at this point, and I've noticed that I've been able to make pretty like synergistic decks. Like there is some randomness to it, but at the end of the day, I find myself still getting some pretty good combos of cards that go together, and it's because it's not singleton draft. It's pack draft is what I would call it. You get sets of 3 and 2, never single cards, so there's always going to be a little bit of synergy. A good example of this is Hearthstone has its solo quests
Mhm.
journeys, and in there's it's a draft system of making a deck on its own as you play through enemies, and they give you sets of 3 cards to choose from, which I really like because there's always going to be a little bit of synergy there.
Okay. Jamir, really quick, since you're also really big into League of Legends, are you also big into card games as well, or would you ever check out like Legends of Runeterra for yourself?
I gave up card games 6 years ago.
I gave up that life a long time ago.
I've been there.
The rain is
No,
coming
no.
down. The rain is
No,
coming
I mean-
down.
I mean, no, it's not like a bad thing. I mean, I used to play like Yu-Gi-Oh like professionally. I used to like go to actual tournaments and stuff, but
Mhm.
Oh,
I don't actively like, in terms of like world building and all that other stuff, I care more about storytelling elements to like actual like gameplay stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so with like Legends of Terra or Legends of Runeterra, whatever it's called, it's kind of like there's more things that are being expounded on specifically that don't necessarily relate to the actual main focused on champions in the actual Universal League. It's more about the actual expanding world and all the other things you can do in this card game. So, like, to me, that's pretty cool, but it's also like, at the same grand scheme of things, I'm not particularly interested because I'd rather learn about the general big landscape of Runeterra through like reading it versus me playing a card game and saying, well, I get a boost from this. I said, well, why do I get a boost from this in this game? But then when I play like something like Summoner's Rift, that item has no significance to the actual main stage of like that world. So it's like it's two different things to me.
So you're gonna be more into the other projects that they end up putting out throughout the rest of the year.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm definitely gonna be mainly more into that. Which I'm really happy that they have a card game. I was actually kind of surprised that League didn't have an online-based card system just yet that was like actually prevalent. But I was like, it's gonna come at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that it came out like at the end of like, well, technically earlier, like this year, it was more just kind of like finally, let's just wait and get it out the way versus like, well, we are all talking about it now, so
Awesome.
there we go.
Cool. Well, yeah, I think that's good enough for Runeterra talk for a while because we could for sure do a whole nother hour on just Runeterra talk.
And knowing that everybody got something to say.
But I'm gonna move on to my next thing, which is I've been watching anime again. Bless up, shout out to Connor for that Crunchyroll subscription. Anyway, but I've started watching anime again, and I decided to make Fire Force one of the first animes that I jumped back into, and it was good. It was a good watch. The season basically ended, so I'm thirsting for more of that in animated form.
What episode did the anime end on again? I forgot.
24.
Which was like, I mean, like, what was happening?
Whoa, I'm not caught up.
Just like, give me like a vague interaction between two
I'm gonna
characters.
take my headsets off for a moment.
It was after the interaction with the main character and White.
Have they met? Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and all that happened, and now they're just back at the station. So
yeah, I know where it ends. I was just looking for the plot point that they were clearly going to leave a cliffhanger on.
Yeah,
I just couldn't remember which arc. But okay, I got you.
The brother,
really
by
good.
The way. That's where I'm at. I just met the brother.
Okay, yeah, it was after
cool.
that whole situation was over.
Yeah, so pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But really good show. Love the animation, bro. Like I think because everyone was talking about Demon Slayer in 2019 as like some of the best animation of the year. From what I've heard from a whole bunch of people, I haven't watched Demon Slayer yet, but I'm going to. But Fire Force was freaking wild, bro.
Oh,
like just the fact, because fire and water are like some of the most annoying things that any animator would tell you that's the worst thing to animate because you have to get all the flare effects and the fluid movement of the element and stuff like that. But for them to just be making a whole animated series based around that, I'm just like, bro, they're bold. But it was really clean. It was really clean. I liked all the main characters. The one character that I knew so the waifu material in the anime is top tier, to be honest. Well, it's really good.
Yeah.
I like the waifus in that anime. But there was one character that I didn't like because they were putting it too nail on head for her. And it's the girl that has the fire cat powers.
Oh, her.
Okay, so the joke character.
Yeah, the joke character.
Yeah.
It's like a joke that, every time she's near somebody, like, they'll accidentally pull her clothes off or, like, something will happen to her where she's in a very, like, just fan servicey situation. I'm like, okay, I get it. It's a cool joke. I want her to actually be badass like the other female characters in this anime.
Which she does. I think she does get badass.
I will not spoil it, but just know.
I'm pretty sure she does get have her moment.
It'll get better.
Yeah, for sure.
It will get better, but as somebody who's caught up on the manga, I will let you know right now, everybody in this manga gets their time to shine.
Oh yeah, I don't doubt that, but I'm like,
they do.
as of right now,
Yes,
she's super
they
low.
do.
She's super low tier right now.
She's low tier right now, yeah.
Yeah, but the girl with the little fireball things, with the witch hat. Oh, she's OP.
Yeah.
She's OP.
Y'all
I love her. I love her so much. I will not read her. I will
Y'all
not
need to-
read.
No, I did not say that.
Hear
so
me out. Hear
don't
me
even
out.
go
Her
there.
name. Her name is
I already
Maki.
know you don't read, David. We're not gonna talk
Okay.
about that.
Okay.
But,
My girl's name is Maki.
Hashtag Black
She's
History Month. But anyway,
Hashtag Black History Month.
look. If we talk about Maki real quick, hold on. 'Cause we got to talk about the top tier. All right. We got
Okay.
buff arms. We got cute personality. We got the ability to suplex you through the earth.
Yes.
She will kill you.
Yes.
She has no mercy in her soul. She just murdered like 3 guys at one point. She doesn't care. I love her.
I love
Maki
her
is the
so much.
best thing in the series. I love her so fucking much.
She's
so
great.
yeah, I love that like Jerome was giving names, but none of y'all could drop a name at all. So
Sorry,
think
I
that's-
still
think that's
love
hilarious.
Iris a lot. So Iris is my nun,
Alright.
nun waifu.
I-
so-
Yeah,
Iris is also top tier.
Oh no, I'm just commending like people
Yeah.
for giving character names. I know half of y'all be like, oh, remember this person? I'm like, damn, y'all.
Look, I'm
involved in a lot of
dyslexic. I have a cap on how much word intake I can take, and all that is too damn much.
To be fair, we're at least they're watching the sub versions. 'Cause
Oh, I only
I know
watch
Yeah.
some criminals that'll be like, I'll watch the dub. Meki-chan. Like I don't need that. I would prefer they forget the names and like know who the character is than to say the name but say it wrong and just
Yeah.
trigger the hell out of me. Spare me.
Eh.
All right,
Yeah.
we're
But
this is a
also,
safe space.
just talking about the characters of the anime, main character, Shinra, right? Shinra.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
he's basically Deku with like a fire quirk in his feet. Like that's literally all
Yeah.
he is. I'm just and he kept going about I want to be the best hero, and I'm like, you're on the wrong show, bro. But okay, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I mean, on one hand, I agree. On other, I feel like there's a
Like-
fundamental difference between their characters.
Yeah, for
and I
sure.
feel like that
Yeah,
cannot
but
be
it's like I was
understated.
like the whole hero thing. I was just like, that's silly, but I like that.
Well, I mean,
for sure.
it's not uncommon. I think what I liked most about it is that, like, unlike in Hero Academia, where being a superhero is like a profession, right?
hmm
Yeah.
In Fire Force's world, Shinra wanting to be a superhero is like his childhood fantasy that he stuck to because of the tragedy he lived
Oh,
through. Like, he
God.
probably would have grown up to be a normal kid who, like, still had the
Yeah.
aspiration but wasn't as adamant about it
But
if
the
it
thing
wasn't for what
because of
happened, to his
him,
like
yeah.
mom.
But
Yeah,
also,
so, like,
as someone,
What happened to him is bullshit, by the way.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
you don't even know.
I'm starting to get
It's-
more bits and pieces about what the Fire Force actually fucking does, and ain't none of them good, but except fucking number 8, Fire Station 8, and what's
All
her
right,
name?
all right, Connor. I don't want to spoil nothing for you, bro, but you got a lot to miss. Like,
Okay.
you guys are probably in like chapter 30 area, right?
Yeah,
we're
that
in,
sounds
like,
about
the-
right.
We're in the hundreds right now. I'm telling you right
If
now.
you tell me the
You
truth
have
ends up being
no
evil,
idea.
I quit.
as
I
someone
love
who
it.
loves
You have no idea.
as someone who loves anime characters with fang teeth, Shinra fulfills my kink. I love that.
No, I love it too, right? I actually love his design.
Y'all
I
nasty.
love
I love his teeth.
I think what I love most about his
So-
design
I love his-
over everything is like his adamancy with the superhero
Oh
thing
my God.
combined with like the whole devil motif. I think that's really fun.
His whole thing
I-
with like, oh yeah, I have a nervous tick. I just smile when I'm nervous. I'm like, that's so damn. That's adorable. That's
All right,
adorable.
let's keep the discussion going because it seems like we actually
Oh,
have
yeah.
a lot of stuff to go through.
Oh, okay,
We
yeah.
have a lot.
All right.
I told y'all 16 different tangents.
All right.
Yeah.
We're gonna move it. All right.
Hey,
next up.
it's okay. We got time.
Next up. Next show. Kipo and the Age of Wonderbeasts. Have any of you seen like one episode of the show yet?
No, but it's on my watch list. Like next week, I'm hitting it up.
Okay.
How is it?
It's clean. It's
Okay.
clean. Hashtag Black History Month. Hashtag Black Representation. Hashtag We Out Here. But Kipo's really good. It's a basic premise of we're in the future. There's a society underground. Girl ends up on the surface. She meets Surface Girl number 1 and Surface Boy number 2 plus his bug companion. And you gotta help me get back home. And then they're on an adventure. Good show.
I did not know this existed. It just got added to my list. I love this art style.
The art style is the art style is interesting because it kind of at sometimes makes me think of how people drew anime characters when they were in like early high school, late middle school with like the big eyes sometimes or like the
It
sharp
looks like
eyes.
Last Airbender to me.
If you mean like something that could be anime but it's like Western type
Yeah.
of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
like that an anime inspired clearly art style type of look.
Yeah.
It gives me a Teen Titans vibe, actually.
Same.
Like,
Actually,
But yeah,
I like it.
Yeah, really good show. Only 10 episodes. for sure it's gonna get a second season. Don't know when, but the soundtrack is also very good. There's a official mixtape of the first season's soundtrack on Spotify, so I've been listening to that off and on. And yeah, really good watch for
The
sure.
main character is Pink. Okay, I'll watch
Yeah.
Cool.
For sure. Okay, that was all the things that I have been indulging in, binging for the last couple weeks. Now we're gonna move on to Zany. Zany.
Oh, what? Wait, Connor's
Zany.
next on the line.
Nah,
Okay, technically, I do have the least amount of stuff for the panel anyways, so I will kind of just go ahead and
Don't
say
dip.
that I started playing
Don't
Super
dip.
Mario Odyssey again.
Okay. Cool.
2 years after I've gotten it back from my ex, but whatever.
Oof.
The game is still so clean and it's still so much fun to play, and I cannot believe it's been 2 years since it's come out.
Hashtag throw her under the bus.
Hashtag I feel so old. Oh my god.
Mario Odyssey is like the most replayable 3D Mario game out of everyone that's come out. And I hold my opinion of that very hard because I love
Really?
every once in a while I get an urge. I'm like, I want to play Mario Odyssey from the beginning again.
Oh.
So
I
like,
don't know, because it took me at least 2 days to beat it. It's
like, not a long
nonstop
game
just
by any
playing
means.
it. It's not. But I honestly would go back to play Super Mario 64 if I
Same.
had the desire to take out my Nintendo 64 from my sister's room to plug it in.
yikes.
If
Just
Nintendo-
so-
yeah.
Hot
My
take.
Switch is so easily accessible. I'm just like, yeah, I'll play whatever. I'll play Super Mario Odyssey like as much as I want.
Mm-hmm.
It's fantastic.
It's a great game.
But if I had to play the classic, I would say Super Mario 64
Mhm.
is my go-to 3D Mario.
Man,
Yes,
it's gonna be
overall,
actually
I feel
Mario
like-
Galaxy for me.
Mario Galaxy. Which one? One or
Yeah.
two?
1. I didn't actually play 2.
Oh, two's great. You gotta play that.
All right, so I have my opinion of Odyssey is as such. Mario Odyssey is on par with 64, and I feel like the Galaxy games are like a close second behind the both of them.
Yeah.
Galaxy 1 and 2, I played all of 1, never beat 2, got like halfway through it. Those are long ass
I beat
games,
both
dude.
They
100%.
are. They really
I
are.
beat both 110% with Mario.
Yeah, and they're very good games, right?
Very good.
Yes.
But the thing is, they don't have that interconnectivity that the original Mario 64 had. Whereas like, it like
Each level
I don't know
was
how
like an individual obstacle course instead of a whole
But-
world.
yeah, like I like that feeling of jumping in 64, jumping into like
A panning and being in that space.
yeah, like I feel like I'm in a world, right? Like it may be a
Yeah.
level, but it feels like a world. It feels like this could actually be like a a country within like Mario's weird world, right? It's not
Yeah.
explained, doesn't make sense, but I
Yeah.
love that feeling, right? And Odyssey is the first game after 64 to invoke that feeling of like
Yeah.
when I get to a new zone, like wow, this is a lived in, breathed in world. Even if it's like it feels sectioned off where it's on a giant floating island, it still feels like people could live here. I could see it. It's goofy, it's dumb,
If
but
Breath
I
of
love
the
it.
Wild can get a sequel, Odyssey's for sure getting something. Odyssey 2
Oh,
is
yeah.
coming. I'm pretty
Yes,
sure
yeah.
Odyssey 2 is
Yes.
coming out in 2020.
Dude, printing
sure.
money. If
Wow.
they don't do it,
Really?
they are
2020?
foolish.
Because because Odyssey and Breath of the Wild both came out the same year. I keep forgetting that they screwed
Right.
everyone
They
up.
did.
that's
Holy
true.
shit.
They all came out the
Oh my
same
They came
year.
out.
God.
It was launch year.
So
Yeah.
3 years later, if they wanted to do that whole thing again, they could do it. I could say
Yeah.
I would
They-
think Odyssey and Breath of the Wild 2 are coming out this year.
Yeah.
I'm ready
So
for Breath of the Wild.
I'm giving Breath of the Wild next year, right? That's my personal. I think 2021 is the earliest we're getting Breath of the Wild.
That teaser trailer was very intense, and it's all the same engine. All they got to do is change
Yeah.
around some stuff. I'd say
Yeah.
3 years is
We'll
perfect.
see, but I personally am gonna, instead of like getting my hopes up like I did with Animal Crossing and having to wait an extra 5 months, I'm gonna be like 2021, and if I get it sooner, awesome.
Yeah.
Mario Odyssey 2, though, I actually think we could actually expect to hear an announcement about it somewhere before E3, maybe, and then get it by the end of the year. I think that's actually
Wow.
possible.
That's
Um,
cool.
That is
Frickin'
crazy.
Zany, you've
Because
also been
technically, you
playing-
could just build Super Mario Odyssey 2 on the same game engine, like
Just like with
Really?
Galaxy.
Breath of the Wild
stuff,
2. Yeah.
And it's
And
like it's a good
honestly-
engine.
All right.
Yeah.
But you also
I'm
been
surprised
playing,
nobody actually mentioned Super Mario Sunshine in all of this.
Okay, so
Oh, I was
Yeah,
gonna
I
say
never-
you guys are all like. So I was like, that's kind of like.
well, the thing about the way I feel about Sunshine is that I feel like it's control-wise better than 64, but the world feels very samey. Like it feels like one big world, which is fine, but I kind of like the going to different zones and feeling like I'm in a different world feeling of 64. And Sunshine kind of just felt like I was on this giant, weird, distorted resort, right? Like I felt like I was on vacation, but I didn't really want that. The tropical theming wasn't as evocative of fun, exploration as like the original 64 game, where like I go from being in this on this giant mountain throwing penguins off the cliff to I'm throwing a giant bomb off a cliff. Oh yeah. Okay, there's a pattern. I like throwing things off of cliffs.
Zany,
regardless,
you
like,
talk about
I don't
Persona
know.
Light.
Well, there's also like there's also this other thing because it's like before you guys like move on, like I didn't play. I had Odyssey for like maybe 10 minutes. I did not care about it.
I'm with you, Jamir.
I did not care about it. And then the other issue that I had with it was like it was a good game from what I could see. Plot wise, I had a very, very hard problem. I had a very hard time getting into it because to me, I think I told you this a while back, David, too, when the game actually came out. Odyssey to me is pretty much Sonic Unleashed.
Oh, Mario's World Adventure.
That's practically what it was. Except like, you go to different worlds throughout the galaxy to get to these different places with like, your ghost hat, which is like, to me, Sonic and Chip. But like, it's all on one basis of me trying to put the world back together. And it was like wild. It was a great adventure. And hashtag, that's my favorite Sonic game ever, by the way. And then like, it just felt too similar. Plot wise, it was the same layout, but it didn't feel like a Mario game to me. It felt whoa. Mario's trying to get to an actual like adventure. And that to me is what Super Galaxy was. My favorite Mario game was Paper Mario. It was the best Mario game to me.
Okay.
And then like,
you getting some pushback on that one, Big Fella. All right.
We can leave that till after.
We can have a different chat about that after the podcast.
Wait, hold on. First of all, this is a podcast. It can be as long as we want it to. I listen to 3-hour podcasts regularly. Y'all ain't got nowhere to go. Tomorrow is Sunday.
All right.
I'm pushing back.
Move on to the next subject. Hold on.
Before we do, I'm going to push back just a little bit. I can understand your opinions on the world structure being similar to Sonic Unleashed, with like the, just seeing different exotic lands all over the world. I get that. That's fair. The comparison to Chip is fucked up, and I don't appreciate it. Hello? Okay. I hope you didn't lead to a dies ever. I'm going to say it one more time. The comparison to Chip.
No, I'm still here. Hold on.
Okay. You left the cave back.
I'm actively listening. My thing just
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna make it perfectly clear. The comparison between Cappy and Chip, fucked up. I don't agree with that. Chip was not a terrible character, but Chip was essentially there to exist to be cute, and he wasn't nearly as cute in the English version. By the way, I just gotta make that clear.
Yeah,
Cappy has a practical purpose throughout the entire story. Like he has a reason to be there. Chip just floats next to Sonic while Sonic does all the work. All right.
I mean, my man was like part of the reason why that game happened in the first place. He was the
yes.
other
I mean, he was a MacGuffin. He was a living MacGuffin. But the thing is, Cappy was useful. Chip just ate ice cream and said how cute he was, and that's fine if you liked him. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with liking him that way. I'm just saying like that is not a comparison. That is not a comparison that makes sense. One more thing, plot wise. First of all, who the fuck plays Mario for plot? I'm just saying it's the same plot. This Odyssey is the.
Tell that to Nintendo for making the fucking game about plot in the first place.
Okay, first of all, the plot is the weakest part of the game, and that's because they don't care that much. They even make a joke about the fact that the plot is dumb, because at the end, Mario saves Peach, and then she looks at him and Bowser, and she's like, nah, I don't like either of y'all niggas. I'm out of here. And then she went on a fucking tour around the world, hanging out with another girl. There's no plot. It's just goofiness. It doesn't matter. So I just gotta, and Sonic Unleashed tried to I think Sonic Unleashed has the best story in a Sonic game since like Sonic Adventure, right? Because it goes for a semi-serious plot with like, you know, movie-like jokey undertones where like the characters aren't taking it too seriously until they have to. So, you know, they have parts where they can eat ice cream or goof around with some dumb scientist named Dr. Pickles. Like they can mess around like that. But then when Gaia shows up, they gotta put the hurt on them, you know? So it's like, that's fine. But it's not really comparable to Mario Odyssey, considering that Mario Odyssey had no world-bending like stakes. It was just Bowser was gonna marry Peach against her will. It was kidnapping versus blowing up the planet.
Ooh, sounds like the 50s.
Yeah, those are not. But yeah, those plots aren't comparable. I get where you're coming from. Just saying, I feel like those plots are not even close to being comparable.
Okay,
now we can move on.
Look, you can tell me whatever you want. I'm still gonna game under the bus.
I'm just saying the only reason I didn't like Mario Odyssey is because I'm not a platformer guy, and I wanted to be fun and interesting, and I thought the worlds were cool. That's why I watched the playthrough. But I don't like games where it's just jumpy fucking jump everywhere. And number 2, on the Sonic thing, hot take, my favorite Sonic game is Heroes.
Yes! Yes!
Yes!
Oh my god!
No, not yes! Yes!
What do you
Yes!
mean? Heroes was good!
I loved Heroes.
I loved Heroes too!
Okay, we'll leave this for another time.
yes,
I will go on an 8-year rant as to why you're wrong and you should be put in an insane asylum for thinking Sonic Heroes is a good game. But I won't. We can just move on.
All right.
Holy shit!
Holy crap! All right,
Welcome
so
to Tangent Blast, the new series from ConMenRDW, where we talk about multiple things for like 3 hours.
That's the fun. Look,
Yeah.
that is the fun part of being. This is a podcast. It's not a radio show where we have time slots.
Oh my
we can make this thing 3 hours long, and people might listen to it anyway. That's the fun. It's okay, but I won't drag this one out anymore.
Carry on.
Carry on. Let's go.
So there was a game that I actually wanted to play a lot. It was a JRPG that came out on the Wii U back in like 2015. Called Tokyo Mirage Sessions Sharp FE.
Encore.
It came out as Encore for the Switch, and it came out yesterday. Wait, actually, yeah, it came out like a couple days ago. I want to say.
Yeah.
I love that name, by the way. The name invokes like those really long Japanese anime names. It's just a
Right.
sentence.
Sharp FE Encore.
Yeah. Oh wow. The game. Okay. So Encore actually just came out in the 17th of January actually, and I was waiting for a bit to get the monies because I'm broke as shit to buy the game. But I was like, you know what? I've been waiting to play this game for like 5 years at this point, and I've been waiting for a Switch port. I didn't look at any. I didn't look at any gameplay. I went into it blind because I love my Japanese idols. I love my JRPGs, so it was an easy move to make. And I've honestly been enjoying it a lot, to be honest. It's a combination of a regular turn-based JRPG of Shin Megami Tensei. The only Shin Megami Tensei game I've played is the mobile game. And that one turned out to be pretty good for a bit, but it essentially invokes the same type of battle system where each enemy has like its own resistances, what elements or what items it resists to and what it's weak to.
So would you say,
yes,
if you didn't get Persona on Switch, just play this?
Honestly, if Persona
would it
5
fill the void
if
for
Persona
somebody?
5 came out on the Switch, I would totally tell him to go get Persona 5. But since it's not, the battle system for Tokyo Sessions Mirage is actually pretty clean, and I find myself enjoying it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I probably would call it the premier JRPG on the Switch at the moment.
Yeah.
Besides Dragon
had to
Quest,
fight
Yeah, I was like, hold on,
besides
yeah.
Dragon
I
Quest
had to
like
fight
13 or something.
Yeah.
Besides Dragon Quest, because Dragon Quest 13 was actually pretty good too.
You're forgetting about, oh my god, why am I forgetting the name of the Atlas game that came out? My
The
brain
Atlas
just
game?
died. Not Atlas,
I also
Talking
keep
about,
forgetting they're still working on
freaking
Shin Megami
Octopath?
Tensei 5 actually.
no, not, Platinum. The Platinum. Why am I forgetting Platinum game?
Oh,
Astral
You
Chain?
mean Astral Chain?
Yeah,
I'm not
Astral
thinking
Chain
about
You
was
said
Astral
great.
RPG.
No spoilers in that. I haven't played
I
Astral
said
Chain yet.
JRPG.
It's-
Well,
it's
but it is a JRPG too, actually. But
Yeah.
this is more like
Yeah.
basic like turn-based combat type of JRPG.
Like an
Like,
RPG.
if you're looking for something like that, definitely go for like Tokyo Mirage Sessions or Dragon Quest 13. If you're looking for like an action game like Astral Chain, where you're like doing like your actual combat, like a la God of War or something like that, go for that. And I still have yet to play Astral Chain, which I still need to get.
The Switch is such a perfect console for RPGs. Like,
It is.
I remember seeing
is.
Tokyo Mirage Sessions on the Wii U, and I was very interested in checking it out when it was on that system. But I was like, yeah, I don't feel like being stationary to TV to play this thing. But now that it's on Switch, I'm like, oh yeah, for sure, I would give it a chance and check it out.
Oh yeah, no, I've already put 5 hours in it in one day, and all I've been playing it on is literally in my bed. Like, that portability makes it such an obvious choice to me to play.
Is
I'm
it full
just like,
60?
I don't want to stop. It's yeah, it's unfortunate.
Yeah, it's full 60. Yeah.
Like most Switch sports, it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
But would I say if it's worth the money? Yeah, I love the character designs of all the Fire Emblem characters that are on there. Like, I'll probably gonna be sharing a lot of them on my Instagram at sweet.zany. You know.
I know a lot of people are salty with Fire Emblem right now, though.
Yeah. Yeah, they're all pretty great. I love the character designs. I love the combat system. Honestly, it's a fantastic game. I would
Music?
totally
Question
recommend it.
mark?
Oh yeah, the music's
music.
great.
Oh yes, the music's great. The couple of like idol music that's been playing for some of the characters actually is great. I honestly would cover one of the dances if I had more like video material, but you know, that's
cool.
me. The JRPG J-pop idol guy anyway. So like it spoke to me. Like I really wanted the game. And the last thing for me, so this anime's been on this anime's been on Netflix for like literally like a thing like since last year, and it's been on my watch list for a bit. But I finally got to watch it since I graduated college.
Oh my god, congratulations.
And I've been trying to find the time, and I was on Netflix like one day, and I was like, you know, Your Lie in April is in my watch list. I'm just gonna go and watch it. I finished that series in 2 days, and I was crying like midway through it.
It sounds super familiar. I remember hearing about it, but I never watched it.
Yeah,
it's just granddad level of tears.
Like full tears.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Yeah, no spoilers on that.
It's not. No
dude.
spoilers or anything. It's just the boy meets girl type of story, and it just goes from there. To be honest.
Honestly,
that show. Yeah. I recognize that.
Yes.
That show was up there with Carol and Tuesday for me, where it's like I gotta watch this show. I know I'm gonna be hurting, and I gotta watch it.
Yeah, watch Carol and Tuesday too. Good show.
Yeah, I need to watch that as well. But yeah, Your Lie in April had me tugging at the heartstrings like every other episode, and I totally recommend it, to be honest, because it's great.
I'm honestly
it
surprised
feels
that
very real.
That you have this on your list and you don't have Weathering with You on your list.
Oh no, I already watched Weathering with You actually. Oh wait, that's something I should have talked about.
Yeah, just like mention it real quick, non-spoilers, but like how was it? I know it was like the
Weathering
same guy as
it was made by
the Your Name guy.
He made Your Name. Yeah, he's made a couple of other movies that haven't been as popular as Your Name, but Weathering with You was fantastic. It actually happens around the same time as Your Name, so I would totally recommend you watch Your Name first before you go watch Weathering with You.
Dude, your name hurt my soul.
Your Name was fantastic. Oh
dude,
my god.
That is such a good movie. Dude, the scene with the comet, I'm not going to say what the context is, but that scene hits me every fucking time, dude. I love that scene so much.
I think it has to do with the soundtrack, to be honest. Like, the soundtrack really plays a huge role in the movie.
The soundtrack, the animation, the fucking court, everything about that movie is just godlike, dude. That's like Oscar-worthy movie in my opinion. I'm
also a sucker for unconventional romance movies anyway, so it's just like, when it comes to Your Name or Weathering with You, I'm just like, if it's something fantastic... I got people. I'm just like, oh, my heart, dude.
Zany, I got a throwback for you. If you love unconventional romance animes, watch Please Teacher.
Oh God, no.
Oh God, here we go.
Wait,
God,
no.
What? Hold up.
We just talked about this. We do not need to go back. We don't need this. No one needs this.
Fuck y'all. I love that. That was my fucking middle school. I was being all poetic and shit because of all the shit he said in there.
The
That like
nostalgia's real.
shaped
Yeesh.
7th grade year for me.
Yes, but I
LOL.
totally recommend Your Lie in April and Weathering with You as well.
Very
And
nice.
definitely watch Your Name before you go watch Weathering with You, because
need to watch
it's a trip. It's a trip.
You like weeb shit, kids?
Yeah.
You should watch this.
Yep.
Awesome.
All right, and that's me. And
That's
that's
all
me.
Zany has been taking partaking with the last couple days. All right, Connor, you're
Yeah.
up.
So guys, so first I'm gonna be talking about No Man's Sky.
Wasn't that game bad 4 years ago?
Oh, it was awful. But I'm gonna
Yeah, it
tell
was
you
empty.
this.
I literally.
bought that game for $15 at GameStop, and for this year, it was the best $15 I spent. They have actually added a dick ton of content to it.
Oh, there's
Like-
like, it's like a
Free, by
whole,
the way.
it's a
I'm
whole
sorry,
new
what was that?
game.
What was that word? Is it nothing? Is the update just nothing but dick and content? Is that what?
Yeah.
It is?
Yeah,
It
a
replaces
gargantuan.
all
It
our
has a
Hey,
large
stories.
big
Gargant-
planet.
You could say it's a pussy load of work that they did on this game.
I mean,
If you need any context to No Man's Sky in general, just go watch the Internet Historian's video on
Yes.
No Man's Sky.
Yes.
The whole 50 minutes. Like, you will honestly want to go buy No Man's Sky after
It's
watching that.
so good now. I can't even. I've put in 120 hours this year in that
Oh my
game.
goodness.
God.
Now, when you
Because
say this year, you mean 2020 or within the
no,
last calendar
Sorry,
year?
within the last
Okay.
calendar year. Fuck, 2019. Yeah, 2019. I put 120 hours in that game, and just recently I picked it back up because they gave us a new update. I wanted to check it out. But I'm not even joking. They're giving us new content, like huge new, what would be actual DLC for free content yearly.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every summer we get new content. We get new
Well, I would
storylines.
hope
No
so.
joke. Hello
Yeah.
Games really wants that game to be good.
What's
And
Yeah.
it's
crazy
getting
is
good.
No Man's Sky was like the Dash Con of video games, but then they
Oh,
redeemed
God.
themselves. Now Anthem took that spot, and I'm hoping Anthem
Yeah.
gets a No Man's Sky treatment at some point. in
No,
time.
it
No,
won't.
But it won't. But
See,
it won't.
what-
It won't.
So
It don't.
there's a very important reason why. It's because No Man's Sky was developed by a company and published by a company who doesn't give a flying fuck about its customer base.
They just do what they want.
Nope. No Man's Sky was developed by Hello Games, a company made. See, the problem with No Man's Sky and the Internet Story video pretty much makes this clear is that it was gassed up by accident. The guy
Yeah.
who gassed up the
Yeah.
game to be as big as everyone thought it was going
It
to
was
be.
very
He
ambitious.
is not a PR person. So
He
he
is
is not.
not.
He's an indie developer who really wanted to make a game. He had ambitious ideas, and he probably put them all into the game at this point, and he's still going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just a really good developer. But beyond that, he did all that. All that PR was a mistake.
For sure,
Yeah.
the
Did it by
game
accident.
is the game now is what they said it was going to be when it was supposed to come out.
And more.
Exactly.
Which is
Yeah, and
amazing,
more.
which is very
And more-
astounding.
Yeah. And more than that, he like clearly loves this product and he wants it to live up to what he expected it to be.
Yep.
Like,
And,
I
like-
honestly suggest go take, if you have 15 extra dollars and you want something to just like you can play on the daily.
Dude, get the squad to
pick
get
up-
it with you too. This game is
Yeah,
Honestly,
honestly,
amazing.
seriously, it's
Yeah,
really-
'cause it's
multiplayer
multiplayer
is
now.
So good in it.
Yeah,
So good in it.
and it
It's
has
clean.
VR.
We don't have any rendering issues. Oh, and I've seen video of the VR and it's actually fucking fantastic.
Yeah, I've heard people say they played No Man's Sky in VR and it's pretty magical.
That's pretty much why I was nominated for Best VR Game at the Game Awards
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
last year.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
but-
it's surprising the journey that No Man's Sky has been on, to be
Mhm.
honest.
But I'm glad it's finally come here. It's now a game that I would highly suggest for anyone because it's not a full price game anymore. That's the best part.
If you want to
like-
dive into a world where it's literally endless,
And
basically, yeah.
it really is like that's another thing. I'm a huge math nerd, and when it comes to sciences and stuff, and when they gas this game to be an actual size of a universe, like I've tested this. I've left my PS. That was about 15 hours of that 120.
Are you about to
was-
say that you? Are you about to say that you literally just left your PS4 on and flew straight?
Yes. From
For-
one planet to another, and it took 14 and a half hours
Oh my
on one
God.
single
Oh my
drive.
god.
Jesus Christ.
It took legitimate 14 and a half hours.
That's actually really
Wait,
amazing.
that's
that's
insane.
without warp drive. You just 14
That,
hours.
without warp drive.
That's
just on
insane.
drive.
Wow.
That's insane.
That's insane,
Yeah.
bro.
It was it it's just cool to me, the math that they because there's no other game with this kind of world generation.
Mm-hmm.
They created their own math to create this world, which is fucking phenomenal. They just didn't have the content to back it up at the start. Now they do.
Once again, the developer is a genius. He's not a PR person.
He's
So
not a PR person.
if
Hey guys,
if they
let's make a
never
world that
made
doesn't
it,
exist yet.
so the thing about him is that if they didn't put him in front of cameras all the time, the game would have been released. People would have been like, it's not enough, but it's okay. He would have worked on the game, and then the game would have blown up the same way.
Yeah, it
so
would've blown up
honestly,
just
nothing
later.
was lost. We just got good memes out of it.
Yeah.
Nothing was lost.
Honestly, great game though.
Speaking of the space and the moon, let's talk about DuckTales, but not too much because that's spoilers. But let's talk about
Woohoo!
DuckTales.
Okay, all I can say, DuckTales, fucking fantastic. I'll put
Do
it up there
not
with.
sleep on this goddamn
Do
show.
not
Why? I don't know why I haven't gotten past the first episode. Something's wrong with me.
No, the first. So it was so weird. Oh well, it's Connor's turn to talk about DuckTales. I'll let you talk about.
I will
DuckTales,
say it's
Connor.
weirdly paced, and I am going to say this about Disney Plus. I don't think Disney Plus has its shit together yet because I think it's got episodes out of order in all its shows. Like Phineas and Ferb is hella out of fucking order. I know the episode 1, season 1 that they have on there is not the first episode they
Phineas and
released.
Ferb had an
Oh,
order.
he knows this because he watched all
So
of it.
okay, so
Yeah.
so I got problems here. All right, look. You know what? No, I won't do it. Oh look, I don't like Phineas and Ferb. All
Okay,
right,
that's fine. You don't have to
I
like
don't-
it.
I don't care about their continuity. It's dumb.
Okay, that's fine. But what I'm saying is that that's not the only show that's happening. I think DuckTales.
I
'cause
watched
DuckTales-
I watched DuckTales like from I think maybe episode 6 from season 1, and it was all pretty much in order from when I watched it.
But did you watch it from episode 1? Because it starts with where I don't know how it released because I didn't watch it when it was released. But it starts what feels like episode 3, and then episode 3 feels like it should be episode 1, where it introduces all the characters.
Well,
Oh, you know
well,
what? No, that's not. No. That
about
was
to
intentional. They actually, I remember that. I watched the first 4 episodes.
Oh, okay. So
Um,
they
I was about
So
to
the
say,
first episode was the setup episode, like the 3rd episode, and that wasn't really considered like quote unquote the first
was more
episode.
like
It's
the
like
pilot.
the pilot.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the pilot ended up happening later on in the season because the actual show itself premiered for free on YouTube, and then they put the rest of the show on TV.
Yeah, the way they did it when
Yeah.
DuckTales first came out. That's the reason I never watched it until now, because when it first came out, they had that 45-minute long pilot, and then they had like 4 to 5 episodes that were airing on TV in loop, like for at least 4 to 5 months until they had the rest of the season done. Then they started airing the rest of the season. So the first couple episodes are really weird to watch because it feels like they're all like they can be played in any order, so you can watch the show at any point. But then after that, then that's when the continuity starts to kick in. So like after
Yeah.
episode 5 or 6, that's when it starts to come together more.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to say about DuckTales without any spoilers. This show is going to make you laugh. It's going to make you fucking cry. It has amazing story plot. Almost all the characters, I'm not going to give every character, but a lot of the characters actually have some really good depth to them.
Basically,
There are-
every single character that they introduce in the show, side or main, has a moment in this show, and it's
I
amazing.
can't think of what the pilot's moment is, though.
With the dragon?
Oh. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so pretty much everyone gets their moment. And there's also some really good voice actors in here. Scrooge
Freaking-
McDuck is actually voiced by David Tennant.
Yeah.
Freaking Lin-Manuel Miranda does Gizmo.
Freaking I forgot who Abed was. I forgot his actual name from Community. But
Yeah.
he's Huey.
Yeah,
The dude
he's
who's voicing Sonic in the new movie, he voiced Dewey. I don't know who did Louie though, but yeah.
Yeah, it's a really, and like, it's just crazy the things that happen in the show. It's
So what's crazy? What's really interesting about how DuckTales 2017 came out at a time where they started redoing a lot of animated shows, or when a lot of reboots were happening, and they actually have an episode in the show that kind of touches on reboots and stuff. But
Mhm.
the fact that DuckTales came out and everyone who was a freaking nostalgic kid was like, "Oh no, they're redoing DuckTales. It's gonna be terrible." But then I saw the pilot and I was like, "Holy crap, this is so much better than the original DuckTales." Because I didn't even I did not even watch DuckTales as a kid because I
Same.
fucking hated Huey, Dewey, and Louie. They were the same goddamn kid, copied and pasted. But this
Hey,
freaking series, this series
Do
made
not
each
disrespect
kid.
those children.
No, I love them now. In the past past, I
Bro.
hated them, but now they
No.
each
Bro.
individually have their own personalities. Specifically, Huey's like the by the book junior woodchuck, this and that. He's that kid. Freaking Dewey is the daring one, the adventurous type who like Scrooge kind of likes a little more than the others. Freaking Louie is the greedy ass one slash the evil twin because he like only goes treasure hunting for the treasure. He only cares about that. He's like the one that comes up with all the schemes and stuff. Even fucking Webby, who was dead ass just the girl character in the old cartoon. She
I
is
love her
now.
in this
She
show.
is so good now. She has a freaking adventurous type. She has a goddamn grappling hook on some Maple Pines shit from.
She's the most
Gravity
capable
Falls.
child in the
She's
show.
so good.
Period.
She's so
There's
good.
literally okay. I'm not
Even the
gonna spoil too
freaking
much.
maid. The freaking maid
Right.
has
Oh my
lore.
God.
The maid has lore. I'm like,
I
what the
know.
hell is this
It's
show? I cannot go
so-
back to the original DuckTales. I tried to
I
watch it.
couldn't.
I can't. It's trash.
Although
Throw it
I
away.
will say, strong opinion here. All right, I've heard
Okay.
the new song. Old song still slaps better.
I like the new one better than the old one.
You're wrong.
Me.
The old song is eternal slappage. The new song is good.
I
The
like
old
the new one.
song.
I really love the instrumental of the new one for sure. I love the instrumental for the new one. But
Okay,
Yeah.
well, we're gonna move on. So
watch DuckTales. It's amazing. Okay.
yeah, watch Ducktales is amazing. Okay, I'm not gonna cover too much on this next one. Just we already have a podcast out. Y'all should go watch it. Called Poke Thoughts. But I have been hardcore playing Pokemon Sword. I borrowed it from a buddy of mine, December 17th. It is now the 1st of February, and I put 195 hours into that.
That's wild as shit, bro. I
Yikes.
couldn't do it. Couldn't be me.
I have
Couldn't.
You could never, ever get me to do that.
Look,
I
I haven't put that many hours into a Pokemon game since Emerald. Ugh.
Oh. Actually, no, I feel that.
I,
I think Gen 3 and Gen
here's-
4 are the
here's
only
what
things
it
I
is.
put money into.
I feel like I could have fallen off a while ago, but because I joined some Discord communities and have been doing like inner Discord tournaments and stuff, it's what's been keeping me going. Because if it wasn't for that, if I hadn't found those Discord communities, I probably would have fallen off about 50 or 60
It's really
hours.
interesting though with your whole thing with this Pokemon game because I remember before you even started playing it, you weren't even really hyped for it because you were like, I haven't touched a Pokemon in X how many of years.
So many.
But then this
Since
game
the
apparently
original
got
DS
its
came
teeth
out.
in you. I don't remember what the moment was, but you were like, uh-oh,
It
I
was
like
the
this
moment-
game.
It was the moment that I got on the plane and started playing a Pokemon 3D game on my Switch and was like, oof. And then as soon as I started getting into competitive, because before now, I have never touched competitive in a Pokemon game.
It's the most
I-
annoying thing to try to
You
even
know-
get ready for competitive in Pokemon.
But I actually enjoy that part too. I really enjoy this, like, because I love card games, as you guys know.
Mhm.
And part of it is this kind of like gambling side where it's okay, I did this, I paid this or paid this amount of time for Pokemon. What is the outcome for it? Is it what I'm gonna need, or am I gonna have to roll the dice again? Which is kind of fun to me. That's when you're trying to hatch and get the specific IVs that you want on a Pokemon on
Mhm.
top of these specific natures for building the Pokemon you want to use. But it's become really fun. But then I kind of shifted from that over to the shiny hunting community because, as we talk about in the podcast, there's this whole Twitch community on shiny trading and shiny den hunting and shiny giveaways, and then you get developed into a community and just realize there's all these cool people you get to chat and trade Pokemon and play with them. Like you're at a card shop playing Magic the Gathering when I was, middle school. It has that same nostalgia feeling to me with learning a new game, becoming better at it. It's become so addicting. I will say I'm starting to peter though. I think I'm getting to the end of it of what I want to do. I might pick up tournaments once in a while, but I haven't been trying to get on Twitch streams anymore, and I think I've put in my money's worth at this
Mhm.
point.
So, since I recently rolled credits on Pokemon Sword, I'm gonna give my little 2 cents too. That was like the first game I beat in 2020. I'm trying to like beat more games this year. So Pokemon Sword, I was like, this is gonna be the game that I start that off with. I remember when I first got Pokemon Sword, I probably before I even got to like the 4th gym, I logged maybe like 40 hours into the game. And then I
Dang.
stopped because a whole bunch of stuff started happening. I think other games came out and like
Yeah.
other stuff happened, so I just stopped playing. In like late December, I just reset my whole file. I deleted my file because there's no actual reset button in the game. I just deleted my file and started all over. I picked Score Bunny this time. I picked Salvo the first time. I picked Score Bunny this time, and I made myself a girl. And I got a Raboot, and I give it an Everstone, and it never evolved the whole time. And yeah, I don't know. I think it's really weird with Pokemon because, like, I'm not a huge turn-based RPG guy anyway, but like Pokemon, it has this weird thing where it's like there's so many Pokemon, but also you only have 6 slots, and I like so many Pokemon, but I can't like train all of you because I want to see credits roll, and I'm not trying to commit all this time into the game. So I only pick like maybe I probably in total maybe mess with maybe like 8 or 9 Pokemon the whole time. And as soon as I saw those credits roll, I was just like, okay, I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. Because, I don't know, it started getting exhausting to me a little bit. Because it was like almost a little overwhelming for me. Like, I don't understand why people wanted this game to have every damn Pokemon in it. Because that'd be stupid. Like, I would not have wanted that at all. That's
I
Well,
don't think.
I
get the context behind the whole Dexit argument, but I'm just like, if I had all 500 fucking Mons in this game, I would lose my damn
800.
mind. All 800, I would have lost my damn mind. So, yeah.
Well, I
But
mean,
also,
it's
like,
not-
you know, I think I mentioned this to Connor a while back before the game even came out. I didn't even care about it when I bought the game. I bought it because I just wanted to understand where it was going to go, story-wise, and how quickly it was going to go.
Wait, oh, sorry.
And then like after like I was done, I was like, okay, what's left?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really care about competitive Pokemon because to me that's not what Pokemon was about.
So you
when I
play
started
Pokemon.
it.
You're a person that plays Pokemon for the journey.
I played it for the journey. I played it because there are certain Pokemon I liked. Like, I mean, y'all know me.
Yeah.
Man, you throw me a Reggie, it's over.
Huh. What you're getting Reggies.
Well, I mean,
And 2 more ones.
I mean, that's all I can get. That's 6. That's a whole team.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, that's it. And
You're
then
gonna
like,
have a
probably
team
not.
Reggies.
I mean, that's all I need. I mean, that's all I wanted. And then like, I mean, Reggies are stupid. They should not exist, but they do. But like, I don't know. Pokemon hasn't really felt the same to me since like Gen 5.
Mm-hmm.
Gen 4 was the last
Yeah.
one I played.
And also, there's the whole discussion of like, is Pokemon. Well, for sure, this game was stupid easy, but also it's like
Well-
they've kept the games the same damn near the whole time, just for kids, and like we've grown up, and now the game hasn't really like.
Well, let me say that though, because like, what was it? Sun and Moon. Sun and Moon is like what? That's Gen 7, right? Sun and Moon was like, to me, I loved Sun and Moon. Like as a concept, I loved it. It was great. I wish I would have had it sooner. Gen 4 was my favorite because there was just so much crap to do. I mean, like, you look at each, like, if you look at it from like a story point narrative plot, that's just what I like to do. I like stories. And then you look at it from that, each Pokemon game had its own specific story. No, was Sun and Moon like a great story? It was kind of dark. It wasn't that dark, but it was kind of dark. You look at like Gen 4 was kind of messed up because, you know, God was involved in all that crap and it was crazy. Someone was actually trying to destroy the whole universe. Like, no one actually really, you ever think about it, you're like, oh, I beat the bad guy. That's what I said. But do you realize what these bad people were trying to do?
It was literally
this game?
destroyed the
Yeah,
universe.
Like,
going
the only-
story
the only-
wise,
The only, like, general, like, good, like, semi-villain that was actually, like, all right, I'm going to be a villain, but also I'm going to be a smart-ass man was Giovanni. Like, Giovanni was lit.
So I'm gonna have a hot take here on Pokemon Sword, and we won't stay too long on it. But I think they intentionally not made it not a heavy story one. Here's why. This is a new console, right? So this is the first real Pokemon game. We're not talking about Let's Go. Real Pokemon game on the Switch. So there was going to be a lot of trial and error here, and so I think they gave us the first Pokemon as basic as they could to see what kind of engine's going to go with it and if we like that engine. Which, as a base game, the wild area, the dens, is fucking cool. That's really cool. And I think people enjoy that. So I think this is going to be the launch pad for better Pokemon games to come to the Switch.
All right,
Also,
so
because
I
the
kinda
original
agree
guys
with
who
it.
owned it aren't
Go
doing
ahead.
the story plot this time.
Well, I do understand where you're coming from on that, Connor. I don't think that's really a good excuse
Fair enough.
The thing
Legend of
with
Zelda came out with Breath of the Wild, and it was a new console whole ass, and that ended
Fair.
up being a whole thing.
So here's my thing with Pokemon Company, Great Game Freak or whatever, and Nintendo, right? Nintendo is one of the big three, the companies that decide the gaming landscape because,
Yeah.
well, actually, I want to say big four technically because I count Steam and PC as being one of those as well. But overall,
agree.
right, they have so much power, so much money. This is one of their biggest earners, franchise-wise. There is no excuse for the animation to be as bad as they are. They're not all bad, but a lot of the mechanics and animations are awful. The incomplete decks is not an excuse because first of all, they're reusing models from old games, so they clearly have access to do all of it. They're just not doing it. They could even confirm there's going to be DLC, right? They're only confirming a little bit at a time now, but they could confirm, hey, over time we're going to release all the Pokemon, but they won't even do that. I don't know why. It makes no sense. They very well could. They're just not making that promise. It's probably because they want to be able to move on to the next series to make more money. That's my opinion, right? With the announcement of the DLC packs that are coming out over the next couple of years, sure, fine, that's good enough. But that doesn't excuse what they got as a launch product. I played through the entirety of Shield, and I probably put in about 45 hours total. That is including looking for the Pokemon I really wanted to see, training them up to be good enough to be on my final roster, beating the main campaign, and then being champion, right? I do not feel fulfilled after beating this game. And that is a problem because literally every Pokemon game I've beaten before now has left me feeling fulfilled, even if I didn't like parts of it in the middle, right? It's like I would rather be like, and some of the parts in the middle weren't good, but the ending was good, than the game in the center was mediocre and then the ending was boring and I got nothing out of it. Competitively, this game is probably healthier than it's ever been because, from what I understand, them taking out a lot of those Pokemon made competitive a lot healthier because a lot of the worst Pokemon in the meta are now like not in the game anymore.
And like the meta is like honestly ever changing. Like I thought it would be a stagnant meta, but then a tournament comes out and a new team approaches, and then you see that team fucking forever.
Of course, but like overall, like apparently for like 2 generations, like a strong meta had formed, and it was really stupid. And I get it. I get why some competitive people are okay with that. But overall, if there are people out there who like having to complete the national decks, and that is a mainstay of the main Pokemon franchise that has been in every single game to date, and then they drop a ball saying they won't have every Pokemon, but then they skimp out on a lot of other stuff. Like the game is it's not made well, right? It is rough.
It's not made well.
In the first 5 minutes of me playing this game, I saw texture pop in. That is inexcusable in a world where I can play Breath of the Wild and see most of the world's landscape without pop-in. There's pop-in, but it's not nearly as bad as this. And you get twice the detail in Breath of the Wild. Pokemon Company does not have an excuse. Or Game Freak, whoever you want to blame. They don't have an excuse. There's none. The game is okay. It is a very middling game. It is like a 7.5 at most, right?
Well,
but
that's
it's just
nice.
He said that's nice.
That's nice. Jesus.
You got a low bar, brother. But overall,
ain't no low, bro.
That's a low bar. But regardless, like I said, if you enjoy the game, it's okay to enjoy it. But I beg of people to like enjoy the game without making excuses for the bad things the game has. That's all.
And I'm not trying to make excuses for it, but I think it's this might be making excuses, but I think it's a good start for a new generation of people to come in.
They need to start putting that damn anime budget to use instead of that damn game. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Make the story as good as it is in the anime.
We'll move on from Pokemon Sword. We can talk about that.
Speaking of anime,
Dr.Stone. I fucking love this anime. Honestly, like probably in the number, I'd say 2 or 3 slot of anime of the year 2019 for me, which I know not everyone's gonna agree with, but I'm a science geek. I grew up and I went to high school at a STEM school, which is science, technology, engineering, and math. And Dr. Stone takes science and makes it feel like a fight scene, and it's cool as shit to me.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how action scenes are gonna work in this anime. Since he's not a fighter. Well, yeah, that's personally
right. But even though he's not a fighter, he's literally a character in the anime.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just I can't. So David's just started episode 1 today, so I can't spoil too much. But like, the music's clean. I actually like the animation. I like the comedy that they have in there. It's not overly toned comedy, but it's enough to make me laugh. And the storyline so far is cool. The arc that we're seeing and the story progression and just the pacing of it, I enjoy thoroughly. It's fantastic. I wish I could talk more, but David's watching, so he
Next binge blast for sure. I'll be talking more about it.
yeah. So I won't talk too much on that, and I'll actually, okay, so
You motherfuckers like House.
Seeing this on the list actually threw me for a loop. Like, somebody's watching House in 2020. I love it, but what?
This is what I want to talk about. So I have this thing, and I feel like a lot of people do, where you have like 5 or 6 shows that are just one of those shows that you throw in the background when you're like maybe eating and you just don't feel like paying attention to anything, or if you're like doing homework or you're doing something else, you've watched it enough, you know what's going to happen, so you're not going to miss anything, but it's nostalgic enough. And House is just one of those for me. I come back to it like every couple years because I haven't seen it. I like his sarcastic assholiness throughout of it. Gives me a good laugh. But I'm not having to stress about actually paying attention to it in case I miss something because I've seen it like 5 times. And on that list, I also have like The Office, and which, funny enough, for as much as I've seen The Office, I didn't watch The Office until I moved to Chicago. So within like the last 3 years.
You ain't missing much.
Hey, I like
honestly.
Is
That's cool.
Is that all I got on House Connor?
Yeah, but House. So I picked it up because I don't know. I guess I've been needing a medical filler because I refuse to watch the new season of Grey's Anatomy until it's out on Netflix. I don't do commercials. I literally pay to make sure I don't watch commercials, which I shouldn't do because I work in the film industry and commercials will probably be like half my money. But I hate commercials so much. I hate being interrupted by something when I'm really interested in watching it. So I want to make sure that I pay for YouTube. But I also watch YouTube like 6 or 7 hours out of the day.
Yeah. YouTube is like my TV, honestly.
Same.
All right.
I mean, yeah, pretty much.
I'm gonna alley-oop this over to Jamir.
Go for it.
Oh no! Don't throw me under the bus. Shit. Okay. Let me see.
Tell me about those Keyblades and Mickey Mouse, boy.
Oh yeah. Oh, so your boy's playing Kingdom Hearts 3 again, but I'm doing a whole critical mode run.
Nice.
God.
Since like the current new DLC that dropped on the 23rd.
Let me remind you. The name is remind.
Basically, so it's like we did a little couple of gameplays on that, so now that everything's being updated, it makes you want to run back to the story because they cleaned up some stuff that was very bad, cutscene wise in the main story. Updated it, cleaned it up, made it look a lot better.
They essentially gave us 6 more hours of plot.
Anyway, it's like they basically did a whole revamp of like the main story to fix up any errors or misconclusions that happened in the main story. Run through that, gave you some new weapons to run through and like actual playable content to do, and then you get the Remind DLC, actual DLC, which is an epilogue to the actual main story, which is kind of like wild because the main story is happening at the final part of the first main game, of the actual main game, which is kind of weird. But I guess it makes sense when you actually do it. You got to play the actual game to actually do the DLC. It's really stupid, but it makes so much sense when you actually do it.
So they make it where if you get Kingdom Hearts 3 and the Remind DLC, it locks you out until you like roll credits on 3.
Yeah, you actually can't do the actual DLC without actually finishing the actual game.
For sure it makes sense. I was just like, oh, that's cool that they actually did that. We're like, nah.
Well, though, they have to because you won't understand what the hell's going on. Like, you have no context.
You want to spoil yourself first?
I actually watched every cutscene.
Well, no, it's really confusing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's super confusing. Like, I had to. So, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not gonna pay the $30 to play it. I know it's a great DLC, but for me, if I'm gonna get my money's worth of entertainment, I need $1 an hour of entertainment. So if I'm gonna pay $30, I need 30 hours of gameplay. which
it's
doesn't.
not it's not even like worth that, honestly. Even though I want it, because I already told myself once I go through this next run, I'm not gonna play the game again for probably a couple of years, only because I don't need to. Like
Yeah,
I did
But
I did a whole rush through it before before the actual game came out.
Yeah.
I did an entire like run through of every single game before that actual game released, and so
Mhm.
for me to do that again, I'm not gonna do that again. I don't want to do that again.
now
And so
I will say I actually watched through though like a 2.5 hour video of all the cutscenes in order. So like I missed the fights, but I get almost the entire premise of the DLC, and I'm glad they did it. It does kind of close on a lot of things that 3 ended with. That was like, what the fuck?
But see,
Um,
this is the thing. It doesn't really close
Close some of
anything.
it.
It doesn't. It's not even. But see, here's the thing: you got to be careful about, which is why like I get why a lot of people got mad about it, because you're saying that it actually closed and it clarifies some things that you didn't get to see.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. I didn't. The
Yeah,
things
that's
that
what
we
I'm
didn't
saying.
see-
That's
yeah.
fine. But the thing is that like you couldn't see those things because going forward throughout the main point of the DLC, if you saw those things in the actual game, then there wouldn't be a point in the actual DLC, which is a fair argument. But at the same time, those are two different stories that you're telling. You would be super confused if all of that was in the main game.
Yeah, and
You
it's,
really would be.
I'm gonna give my one like pissed off piece of mind. I want to know what's in that fucking box. What is in it?
Which
Honestly, at this point, I don't even care. I just want them to fucking resolve that plot line in general. Although
it's
the extra
not going
scenes,
to.
the extra scenes, the master, I love that character so much. I want more with him, dude. I just want a whole
Yeah,
game
I
where
mean
he's involved.
there are several things. I mean I think I'm pretty sure the next main game is about him and
Oh,
I
everybody
hope.
and all in the original 5. It's
I
going
would
to be
hope so.
about them.
I'd be down
That's
for
what,
that.
Well, no, that's what it's leading to. But the reason why they can't tell you that because he's not going to be in the main part of that game. That's why like I didn't really get why a lot of people got pissed off
I just want to know
when
what's in the box. I've been wanting to know for so long.
you and everybody else. But if it's not going to address that in the main game, it's not going to pop up. Like you'll see it, but we won't talk about it. We can't talk about it. We're not there yet. There's no point.
Also, why the fuck does Maleficent know it's in the box and no one else does but the 5? Why
I can. Okay, I'll say this: if you didn't play the phone game, you won't get it.
the?
You won't get
Okay.
it. You won't get it. It's really dumb. It's really stupid, and I got really mad because when I looked into it, it made so much sense, and it drove me insane. It drove me insane, and I was so mad about it because it goes all the way back to like that game, and it goes back to Kingdom Hearts 2. It explains how the fuck she came back. It was stupid. I was like,
Jesus.
God damn it! I hate whoever's writing this because it all makes sense and it's really annoying. But yeah,
Yeah, I haven't played the
that's
phone
about
game.
it. I like the DLC. It's fun. It's challenging. It's really hard. The secret boss is ridiculous, and I'm gonna leave it on that and move on to the next thing. But what is my next thing? Oh, I'm also playing outside of that right now. Me and Kevin are playing .hack. Playing GU, which is a really old throwback game to early 2000s. If it's like I want to make the joke because the joke is always about like it's like Sword Art Online's equivalent, but it's nothing like Sword Art Online at all.
It predates Sword Art Online.
I know that, but like I said, that's the running joke, and no one understands it. And the game came out like I believe early 2018. The remaster version came out early 2018 because the actual company was on there. I think their 20th or 25th anniversary. And they was like, let's just remaster the game and give you guys an extra episode and to like actually just close it all off, which was very nice, and I liked that. It was a very fun game. I had forgotten how much crap was in that game and how much stuff ties through with it. It's pretty lengthy. There's 4 volumes. Each volume feels actually pretty damn long. Actually, if you really want to waste time to play a game, it's a really long. Each game is actually really damn long. You get I would say you get like maybe at maximum maybe 60 hours per game.
Yeah, at one point I want to play through the GU series.
It's a really fun series. Like I didn't think about how like invested I was in it. Going back through each volume. Right now I'm about to finish volume 2 and then I'm going to play volume 3 probably sometime next week. And it's just been a very relivable experience because I was like, I wish they would have remastered this. Like if they did a remake of this game would be great. But I'll take the remaster because I don't really think that anyone's gonna really want to play it in a remake version, like Final Fantasy VII. Like it doesn't really need a retouch up, and a lot of the mechanics for Dot Hack are a lot different than the standard JRPG because no RPG plays like this anymore. You don't get the log in and out of the game where you're actually logging out of the game and you're on a mainframe computer and then you log back into the main game. Like you don't get to see you don't get to log out of a game, check your emails, look at your forums, and then go back. This is like what Persona could have been, but wasn't. But thank God it wasn't. And so it's like all of that is like really fun, and I think that like if you're gonna like if you want an RPG to play that's like really extensive and it's only like worth like $20-$25, invest in GU. It's a really good game. And then the other game which I'm playing on PC, that's not League of Legends. Usually is it's a game called No Thank You. No Thank You is an actual.
Swore that was an anime.
Yeah, same.
Oh, I know what you guys are referring to. It's not that. It's actually something else. It's this is actually an anime game. It's an anime. It's a BL game. It is very long and extensive.
So it's a visual novel.
It's a visual novel. It's
okay.
It's a visual novel, and it's a BL visual novel. It's really weird.
Wait. Slow down, because you're saying really fast. Are you saying BL?
Yes, BL.
Yeah,
as in gay?
Yeah, it's
You're
gay.
saying it's gay? It's
Very
gay.
gay.
That's cool.
Yeah, I don't actually get to play a lot of like BL visual novels, so like it was very fun to get this. My friend recommended it to me because she had tried to give it to me a couple of years ago, and I never played it. And
yeah,
I
the first
downloaded
really
it, and
big
then I
one
forgot
was
about
Dream
it.
Daddy. Like the first really big BL one, I guess, would be Dream Daddy, and that was like.
I think Dream Daddy is kind of like when did Dream Daddy come out?
I think
2018. It's 2018. 2018. It was 2018.
Is that an American?
Yeah.
Company?
It was made by the Game Grumps company.
It came out 2017, by the way.
It did?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Oh,
Really?
no, because I think about
Time flies.
I think about a bunch of like American companies that do like actual visual novel games because I know that there's another gay one that came out in like I think 2014, 2013. It was really weird, but it was the first time I'd experienced a visual novel game. And it was an American company. I thought it was funny. It was a wild ass game. I might actually look forward to see if I can find it again. It was like $20. The game was hilarious. It's on Steam actually. I
feel like I might know what game we're talking about, but I'm not sure. You just like find and tell me the name of it.
I might look into it, but like basically No Thank You is like this you play as don't know his name yet because I still have not played it yet. But the basic scenario is that like you play as a character with amnesia and there's all these different routes and I think you end up becoming a bartender at some underground like nightclub. And it's very extensive. Each like route is actually pretty damn long and chapters fill like 24 hours of text. And so like the game is very long and I'm actually afraid that it's too long because I like reading books, but I'm also like I don't want to sit at a computer
it's like
reading a book for that long. Yeah. Like if I wanted to play Doki Doki Literature Club, I would do that. But I don't want to do that for too long. So yeah, that's I will definitely I think probably when I actually do play it and then I'll give you guys a fair review about what I think about it probably in the next time that we do another binge thing because I will probably binge it. And then anime. This winter lineup's anime is actually kind of wild. There's a few things I'm really surprised that are being animated that I was not expecting. One is a series called Infinite Dendogram, which is another VR style type series where you actually you are in a VR game. You get like a kind of like in a way, kind of like how Astro Train is as the game. You get like you gotta get that like I don't know what the actual word is. What is it? Like a chimera that's like connected to you. You get your own specified chimera for your character. Each one varies, but like Infinite Denigrams is a game of infinite possibilities. You can be the hero, you can be a villain. The world is your choice in this universe, and it's actually really damn interesting. I would say check it out. That's a really good series to look at. Another one that I'm surprised about that I didn't know was a thing is a series called A3, which is about theater. And these are about a group of people trying to save a theater by building a theater group, theater troupe, ensemble, whatever word you want to use. And they're basically just trying to keep this theater afloat before it goes bankrupt and they have to tear it down. for it being remodeled into something else. So that's interesting because I, as someone who wants to be an artist, musician, and an actor in films and stuff, thought that was a very interesting topic that I'd actually never seen in an anime like style basis that focuses specifically on theater and acting. So I thought that was pretty lit. It's been a while. It's been a while since I've seen something like that actually even being animated. And then another series that I'm looking forward to is, I love sports anime. So we got season 4 of Haikyuu. I always call this damn name.
Haikyuu.
Yeah, Haikyuu, whatever the fuck you want to call it.
That's the volleyball anime, right?
Yes, and
Yeah.
oh my god, amazing, great writing. Really excited about that because I've actually chosen not to read this because normally I do read sports animes for like books because that's what I like to do. I just like to read because I don't want to wait and be like not up to date when I can be looking at new things that I don't have to actually read to look at. So that's a good series. Another sports series with rugby called Number 24, which is about retired someone who has hernia. He can no longer play rugby, so now he's a manager doing like saying his shift from being like the main lead to like being resorted to like having to find different ways to enjoy something that he loves because he can't actually perform the sport. So that's a very fine prerogative, like looking at animes for this season. But there's some, I would say, if you get a chance, look at the actual lineup for like 400 2020's animes list. It's actually really interesting. There's some music stuff. There's some stuff about jewelry, which is kind of wild. And
there's that fashion runaway anime.
Yes.
Too.
Oh my god, that was the last thing I was talking about. That is amazing because I love runway stuff. The only thing I've seen related to like fashion or like movement related basis things has like this pretty and looks really like nice. Hasn't been since Welcome to the Ballroom, and that was fucking beautiful. Like the show looks amazing. It's like there are like 5 episodes. They're about to be 5 episodes in. I think they update every what's today, Saturday? I think they update every Saturday. They update every Wednesday. So you get a chance, check that out. And that's on my radar. I still have to look at all the other stuff on the list right now because I haven't had a chance. And one more that you should look at is I'm not gonna say the long Japanese title because the title is stupid, but it's like basically it's subbed as I don't want to get hurt, so I'll maximize my defense. It is a comedy, it's action, it's adventure. It's pretty much, if you want to compare it to the Shihiro, don't, because it's fucking hilarious. Cute moe girl builds the ultimate shield to the point where like it's in an actual online game and there are rules. And it treats it like an actual like online JRPG game or like an MMO. It treats it like that because there are game updates. It's hilarious. It's great. You're going to laugh your ass off watching her go through this and all the people that she comes across. It's great. Please watch it. And now I'm going to move on to the last topic that I wanted to talk about, which was I'm doing some anime throwbacks. Because I don't want to look at anything. I don't look at too many things that are new. And on my list for those things is one of my big things is Beck or Mongolian Chop Squad, because I'm a big music guy and I love that series. It was done by found out funny. It's done by Madhouse. Madhouse actually did the animation for that. I was actually surprised by that. I wish Madhouse would do more music related stuff because there's a lot of stuff that's like really big. I haven't seen anything as good as Beck for a music series since Given, which was in the last season's lineup, which was great. I will also check that out. It's 11 episode series. Check it out. It's really good. And I'm also reading JoJo right now, so it's kind of like funny. But I was thinking back to like a series that I watched like a couple of years ago called it's called Inazuma 11. There's like 3 different series for it right now. The original series aired like in the early 2000s, and then in like the 20 teens we got another series for it. But this one has like stands.
What like JoJo stands?
Yeah. You get your own. Some people are like just stand players, and they can just summon these things while they're playing soccer. And it's dangerous. Kids are like being like the target audience. There's like drugs and buffing. It's crazy. And these are like middle school kids. I just want to point that out. you look at it, it's all middle school kids. And all that jazz. So it's hilarious. I think you I might actually title it down. It's called Inazuma 11. That's like, if you ever get a chance, look at it. It's hilarious.
Uh-huh.
And that's about it for my anime list for the week. I know that was probably a lot of shit, but like, yeah.
Hey,
It's okay, because I'm gonna double it. All right. I'm gonna run down mine. No, it's cool. I'm gonna run down mine super quick because we actually covered a lot of the stuff I was gonna talk about anyway with other people's stuff. So I just binge watched the entirety of Star vs. the Universe on like the last 3 episodes.
So much.
Dude, that show's okay. So I have a problem with this show, right?
Go for
It has what I call Steven Universe syndrome, where a lot of the show is a bunch of irrelevant bullshit that eventually ties in, but it's not fun to get there. It's like, oh, it tied in, cute. Why the fuck did it take so long? Also, why is that relevant? I love some characters. I hate some characters. The shipping tree needs to burn. I fucking hate everything shipping in this show. Every single bit of it needs to die. Marco X this character or Star X that character is beyond me, bro. I'd rather go back to Homestuck shit. And yeah, that's about it. That, like, even though the relationship shit was annoying as fuck, I do like a lot of the animation. I do love a lot of the characters. Not all the Earthlings. A lot of those Earthlings suck.
I think they actually referenced how boring the Earthlings were when Marco just decided to leave Earth.
Yeah, it is like, I think that was hilarious, but also like kind of sad that they wrote like half the cast in and then deleted all of them. Just like, nah, you're all gone. None of you matter. Except for Jackie for some reason. I mean, not Jackie.
Jenna?
Jenna. Like, Jenna just stayed. I kind of liked Jenna. A lot of people didn't. I kind of liked her.
She was kind of... She was like,
hit or miss.
She was like a weird, like, uncomfortable character, because even Marco was like, you're putting off a vibe. And like, we're just like, how'd Jenna get back to Muni? Oh yeah, she just got there. Don't worry about it. Okay. Yeah,
it was hit or miss, but it was fun. So, overall, I haven't finished like the last like 4 episodes, but overall, like, this show's like a 7. It's okay. It's not the worst, but it's not the best. It's got heavy Steven Universe problems, and even when the plot hit and I was enjoying it, it took too long to like. Or actually, rather, it didn't take too long. It wasn't steady. It didn't want to stay the course with its plot. It would like drop off again and give me like 3 or 4 episodes of like nonsense with plot relevant stuff happening in like drip feeding motion. I'm not into that. Yeah. Anyway, besides that, I've been playing Doom 2016 and Dark Souls 3 again. I don't, Doom 2016 obviously because Doom Eternal's coming out in like 2 months and I'm so fucking excited.
Yeah, that is. Isn't that coming out the same day as Animal Crossing?
I think.
Yeah,
which is pretty. That's a pretty good juxtaposition. I think that's hilarious. I want to get both, and so I'm gonna on one hand be like tending to my crops, and then on the other hand, I'm gonna be ripping a demon in two with a giant spear gun. So it's like, I mean, I can't wait. I'm excited as hell. And in doing that, I decided to just do a nightmare run, 100% run of Doom 2016 again. Like, it's just a fun game. 100%ing it on the hardest difficulty. It never gets old. I have fun with it no matter what. And then Dark Souls 3, because me and my friends about 2 weeks ago were talking about the Game of the Year stuff and how we feel about From Software games. And I was like, I honestly think that Sekiro has like the most replayable formula from a From Software standpoint. Some people would disagree with that, but I just feel like Sekiro had the strongest, use of its tools.
So you would go back into Sekiro more often than you would like a Dark Souls game then? Or like
I already have. I've played through Sekiro 7 times. I've played through Dark Souls. I played through Dark Souls 3 maybe 4 times. Well, until now, I'm probably at 6 at this. Yeah, I'm at 6. Yeah, up until I started playing Dark Souls 3 again, I was like, I liked it a lot, but Sekiro really pulled me in. I love that game's combat. It's surprisingly simplistic in that like there's not that many options in terms of like your core combat abilities, but the execution on those abilities are so perfect. When I'm playing Dark Souls 3 and I try to parry something, it doesn't feel good. And that's like one of the most satisfying quote unquote things to do. And Sekiro just made it feel good.
It
It's like
wasn't
my favorite
Sekiro's
thing to
like
do.
gameplay mechanic based around like if you can't parry, you're not gonna have a good time at all. Or
Yeah,
like,
pretty
even-
much.
yeah.
It's literally its core mechanic is parrying. It's a sword battle. You're
Mhm.
parrying and swiping back, parrying, swiping back, and you have the time when you want to do it. You have the time when you need to retreat, use your tools, stuff like that. You feel like it makes you feel like a ninja.
Mhm.
Yeah, but like overall, just thinking about that game made me realize I do want to play Dark Souls 3 again because I do think Dark Souls 3 perfected the Dark Souls formula and it did it the best. So yeah, just been playing through those. Runeterra,
Awesome.
like everybody else has been talking about, of course. I already played that. I started watching Owl House, which
I need to watch that. I haven't seen the first
Yeah.
episode yet.
dude, watch it. It's so good. Basically, it's a girl named Luce. I think she's like probably upper middle school age.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, she's a super weirdo, and she gets in trouble at school for like, doing shit like doing like show and tell, but like bringing live snakes with fangs,
Oh,
and
she's
they end
that
up
weird,
getting
weird.
loose. Yeah, she's weird. Like she made a taxidermy griffin out of like squirrel and pigeon parts, and then put spiders in the mouth because she thinks it's anatomically correct. But lo and behold, magical woozy lion witch in the wardrobe shit happens. She goes through a door. She's in a different magical land. I can't remember the name off the
She
top of
gets
my head.
isekai. Hey.
Yeah, but and then the first thing she sees is a griffin that spits out spiders with a pigeon head. It's pretty funny.
Mhm.
But yeah, like she meets like the main lady, the owl lady. She's a witch who looks like a character from Tenchi Muyo, but I think it's awesome because like she's voiced by one of the best voice actresses ever. What's her name? Ah, dang it. I wanted to say her name and I forgot immediately. It's Wendy Malick.
Who else
Wendy
does she
Malick.
do?
Let's see. There's a she's done a few roles. Shit. Give me a sec. It's on the tip of my tongue. I feel like I know a lot of her roles. She's done a lot of memorable roles. That much I do know.
Yeah. And then there's that like skull dog thing too, right?
Oh yeah, she was in a movie called Jerome. I feel uncomfortable. Oh man, I'm checking out her IMDb real quick just to see if I can like refresh my memory. But yeah, like she has a little demon dog dude.
Is he like a king or something?
Spoiler alert, he's not. He's just like weird. Like the whole premise of the show is that everyone's a weirdo. She's magic, like, Ida, the main character, Owl Lady, or she's the Owl Lady or Ida. That's her actual name. She's a weirdo too, but she's also literally a witch. Her little demon friend, on the other hand, he's just a weirdo. His crown is a Burger King crown.
Oh wow.
It's actually just a piece of paper. It's fucking hilarious. And it's adorable too. Like the show leans into like how weird its whole premise is like be weird and be okay with being weird and accept yourself for who you are. Don't let anyone convince you to take that away. Right. Yeah. And I think that's a really good premise. And then like the end of the first episode, yada yada, she stays in the Isekai world. She wants to learn how to be a witch. That's in like all the trailers and stuff. But like the animation is beautiful. There's like Sakuga. I love that when like American animation has Sakuga in it.
Sakuga?
Where like Sakuga is basically when you're watching an anime or any show for that cartoon for that matter, where the animation drastically leaps in like quality. It goes from being like, oh, this is standard to holy shit, that's a whoa! Who animated that? That looked good. So like if you're watching Star Versus, right?
Yeah.
You see a scene, it's like it looks like normal Star Versus, and then randomly it's like a season finale fight scene.
Oh, it's
Who
when
animated
they
that?
just up the budget, or they get like a guest animator on.
Like whenever James Baxter touches,
yeah,
anything,
like when Steven in Steven Universe, yeah.
Steven Universe or even Adventure Time. That's Sakuga, right?
Oh, okay.
So like this show does it in the first episode within like 5 minutes, and it's beautiful, and they do it over and over again. It really pulled me in. And honestly, the animation style outside of the Sakuga is still pretty good. It's fun, it's imaginative with its character design. It's not ugly, but it does lean into weird design, and I love it. So yeah, I definitely recommend it. I'm gonna binge watch the rest of it within the next day or so. Definitely gonna get my full. Yeah, and besides that, I've also been watching Ishizoku Reviewers, Interspecies Reviewers. It is a funny anime based off a manga about guys who do the same thing that middle schoolers do, which is rate girls on their sex appeal. But they're doing it in a magical D&D type world where you could fuck monster girls at brothels all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's nuts. It's so nuts that Funimation
that happened
canceled
today.
it. They canceled that shit.
Yeah, they pulled
That
it.
is hilarious. Like, imagine.
I don't think
signing
I
up
can
for
remember
a
the last
show.
time that happened for them, where they actually had
I
to
don't-
pull
I
a
don't
show
think-
because
I
it
don't-
was too lewd.
Yeah, like ironically, they signed on for like panty and stocking and shit, right?
Yeah, and
These
Valkyrie
lewd-ass
Drive
shows.
Mermaid.
Yeah, and then it's just like, oh well, but this show, titties, like off-screen fucking, can't have that.
They even had
no.
apparently they also had like simuldub too, so they were dubbing it
Yeah.
too.
Yeah,
which is very
so
funny.
like that they dropped it, but it's really funny. It's essentially a
Bunch of
comedy
girls.
about a bunch of dudes who go to brothels and fuck different monster girls and then rape them, and then they get paid for it. And it's pretty funny. The premise is like, it's just a normal dude and his elf buddy. They meet an angel who fell from heaven, and he can't get back to heaven until his like little halo heals. So in the meantime, they defile him by forcing him to go to brothels with him, and it's hilarious. Honestly,
really
it's
good.
just for it's not for anyone under the age of 18 though. This show is borderline porn. Like
It's
it should be
basically,
porn.
yes, yeah.
It's just porn.
Mm-hmm.
And last but not least, I watched the rest of BoJack Horseman, and I almost cried. I didn't cry because I don't know. I guess I'm high, but until the high dies, it's gonna hit me later because like the themes of the end of this series were perfection. Well, actual perfection. Like this show is the best use of not even best use, rather. It's the best example of a show trying to teach you about mental wellness, and it shows it from every possible factor you can think of. There's probably more, but they go as deep as they can do. They show every different version. They show alcoholism, drug addiction, people who are afraid to take antidepressants, people who are bipolar, people who are naive to their own emotions and then have to be confronted by those emotions out of nowhere. They grow up happy-go-lucky
I've
and then
been
suddenly
aware of
life hits
BoJack.
them.
I've been aware of BoJack since it started, but I never got around to watching it because I don't know. I didn't get around to it. But ever since it came out, I've always heard people being like, "Man, that show is heavy," and I was like, "I want to watch it," but also I will watch it in bursts because I feel like it would
That's fine.
compromise me.
Well, it might not as much as you think. I think it's really dependent on what you're watching it for, right?
Mhm.
See, as somebody who's bipolar and who has depression, for me, it taught me a lesson, right?
Mhm.
But for other people, it'll teach them something completely different, but to the same effect. For you, I don't know how well you see yourself in terms of mental health, right?
Mhm.
But if you see yourself as let's say, for example, you're a person who wants to learn how to help other people with mental health issues, like
You
it
get,
can
like, a
teach you
grasp
that.
of it through the show.
Yeah, it gives you understanding. It even like helps you learn from other people's mistakes through cartoons, because like you can see these characters making a mistake that you yourself can see yourself making and be like, oh, maybe that was a bad idea. And I don't know. I feel like that's really important. It's a lesson that everyone needs to learn. And then finally, it does one thing that I feel like every show needs to do, and that is hit you in the head. Well, not every show. Let me rephrase that. It does something that more shows should do, and that is show what it feels like to want to die, what suicide and like the brink of suicide actually feels like.
Yeah.
It is very heavy, right? Because they don't implicitly show the suicide or the accidental attempt of it or whatever. What they do is they basically show you what goes through the head of someone on the brink of death, especially someone who doesn't realize how not ready they are.
Mhm.
Right? It hits you in the head with like, wow, I would be terrified if this was happening to me. And it's like, I don't want to spoil when it happens or how it happens, but it happens and it's powerful. And I think this is a 10 out of 10 show for me. This show like got me to go to like therapy a year and a half ago.
Oh, wow.
Like no joke. Like I saw the end of the 5th season, and I was like, I need to go see it. I called my mom and cried. And then it was like a week later, like I'm searching for therapy. It didn't like happen as fast as I wanted it to because the American healthcare system is garbage. But I'm where I'm at now. I think honestly because of the show, and I think that means a lot. So yeah, BoJack Horseman, 10 out of 10 show. Watch it if you dare. I dare you to.
I
It's
want
very
to watch it. I'll probably start watching that after I finish watching the current show that I'm watching right now. But yeah, I'll when I'm watching it, I'll for sure start keeping you updated on it for sure.
Absolutely,
Be,
absolutely. I
interesting
look forward
watch.
to it.
Yeah.
Every one of you, all of you other niggas too. So yeah, on that note, I think we can end there. That's pretty much all I got.
That was good. Good talk. We came back and we did it live. We shot it in post. But if you guys heard anything on this episode of Binge Blast that you also would like to watch, or you're watching something / playing something that we talked about, hit us down in the comments down below, or follow us on ConMenRDW on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. Look us up on all major social media platforms, and also I will put Jerome and everyone else's information in the description as well. But until then, dang, you said something really clever yesterday about binge. Oh yeah, you can binge our content, something or other. We'll figure it out. We'll get the tag.
Yeah, it's I mean it's 2-hour content, so let's hope you binge with us.
Yeah, there we go. Binge us. Yes. Okay. All right, we're gonna cut. Bye.
Bye.
Okay.